A brand new predator has just been exposed on TikTok, and you won't believe how it happened. Say hello to Ethan, known online as HoneyBHusband. Now this guy is known for quite a few things. First and foremost, in case you couldn't tell, he is extremely chopped. Now if you're over the age of 17, you probably don't know what that means, and I don't blame you. It is Zoomer slang for ugly, and he is very chopped. And secondly, he's known for making relationship advice videos and I guess kind of fantasizing about his future girlfriend that'll never exist. It's all really complicated and really weird. And besides those two things, he's known for another thing now, and that is being a predator, but we will get into that later. Ethan hasn't really been in any relationships. He obviously, you probably knew that when you looked at him, but like I said, all his content is just relationship advice and those fake scenarios you make up in your head, like when you're taking a shower and you're making up an imaginary argument and you imagine yourself winning it. That's basically what this guy does alongside his relationship content, which again is very obvious that it's from someone who hasn't been in a relationship before. And I have a few reasons as to why I think this. Firstly, he, and I hate using this term, but I feel it's applicable in this scenario, he white knights women in his imaginary scenarios. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with supporting women or taking the side of a woman in a situation and, being understanding. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there's a difference between that and what this guy's doing. In my opinion, he is doing this because he really wants, obviously, a girlfriend, and there's not much else to offer on his end, so I guess he kind of makes up for it with his unwavering support for all women. This is something I very commonly see in, I guess, incels. I hate to use that word, but again, it's very applicable in this situation. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you one example. This is a very tame example because the more extreme ones, or I guess the ones that prove my point the most, have copyrighted music, and I don't want to get copyrighted. But yeah, here's one extremely cringy example.
Bro, why aren't you upset that she left you? Because I am not in control of her actions, I'm in control of mine. You're a man, you should fight for her. She's not a toy, she's not something I am to own. She is her own human being. She has her own story, she has her own life, she has everything going for her, and that's entirely her choice of which direction she actually wants to go. Bro, I know what I'm talking about. I've had tons of girls in my life. You honestly think that's a flex? Why weren't you worried that in the relationship she'd be attracted to someone else? Yes, I can be attracted to other people. She can be attracted to other people, but our relationship is based upon trust. Part of that trust is not cheating. Why weren't you looking through her phone? Same idea. Well, my girlfriend, she's not gonna have any guy friends. Again, that's rooted in insecurity and lack of trust with your partner. But I'm not insecure. Then make sure you can actually trust her and trust that the relationship will last. Or else the both of you are gonna be part of a sinking ship.
Yeah, like I said, these are disguised as good points. However, I feel like most of these are just straw man arguments where he sets up a fake point and attacks it. No one with an IQ over 40 would take the position of the quote-unquote bad guy in this video. All his arguments are very stupid and easy to pick apart, which he obviously does because he made those arguments dumb on purpose so that he could dispute them. But yeah, like I said, these feel very, I guess, white knighty. And obviously you should trust your boyfriend or girlfriend, but there's a difference between trust and blind faith. Everyone needs faith in their life, but you should get it from God and not from promiscuous people who are most likely cheating on you. This guy comes off as the he can have her body but I have her soul kind of guy. I hate to say it, but it's true. Another big part of this guy's online shtick or whatever are the black pill edits. Now, if you're an adult with a job, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, and I myself had to look it up. But black pill, obviously you're probably familiar with like the red pill when someone becomes conservative or whatever. I don't know what that technically means, or I have a vague understanding of it, but this is essentially the same idea. But the black pill, it basically refers to the belief that attractiveness is like one of the most important parts of a person, and that it is mostly determined by genetics. And if you don't have good genetics, they say it's quote unquote over for you. That's the black pill catchphrase. It's over for you. There's also terms for these people who it's over for, like sub 5. I don't understand it, and quite honestly, it doesn't feel like something I want to look into more. But essentially, these edits show a video of him, and then there's usually the same song playing in the background. And then it's just like an edit of attractive people to kind of show the contrast between how unfortunate looking he is and how handsome these guys are. Here's an example. I have no words besides this.
Oh my god, I want that shit.
But now it's time to talk about what you're all here for, what this guy did. Basically, and this is just for some context, this guy, Ethan, out of nowhere, under zero pressure, no one knew this happened. He literally just came out and admitted to having a relationship, 3 years ago? With a girl who was 16 whilst he was 21. Out of nowhere. I mean, I'm not giving advice, but why would you? I don't know. And he came out with a 10-minute video basically explaining all of it. Just gonna summarize it real quick and then I'll play the video. Obviously, I'll speed it up. I'm not gonna make you watch 10 minutes of this dude explaining how he's a child predator, but in essence, he was super desperate, and so when a girl came and wanted to be with him, he immediately took it up despite her age. That's literally why. And the entire video was him basically deflecting blame and trying to bait sympathy and saying that you'll see for yourself, but this is just unbelievable. And the fact that he did this under no pressure is so funny to me. It's gross, the subject matter is horrible, but I just can't get over why you would admit this. Obviously, I'm glad he did, but yeah. I'm also going to mention really quickly before this starts that this guy will try and make it sound as if there was a rumor spreading around that he was doing something really bad, and the reason as to why he's making the video is to clarify like, oh yeah, I did something bad, but not that bad. This is not the case. I scoured the entire internet. I did not find any genuine rumors of this guy being a predator or any talk of him being a predator until he made this video. So don't don't fall for his lies. He came out with this out of nowhere, and in my opinion, he's doing what a lot of predators do, especially internet predators do, is that they address the allegations before anyone else, or address what happened, or bring up what happened, or admit to what happened before anyone else, so that they can kind of control the narrative. That is what I believe is happening here, but I'll play the video now and let you be the judge of that.
I think it's time I clear the air about what happened in 2022 in November when I was 21 years of age. For further clarification, I want to also highlight that yes, I am reading from a computer. These are all the points I wanted to address and all the questions you guys might have, and that's basically it. Nothing else is scripted. So now let's start with the disclaimers. First off, there are sensitive topics ahead. There are mature topics that are going to be discussed, and this is for transparency and safety for you all. Just so we are clear, I'm speaking for myself, not the person involved. This is my side, not an excuse. What I know is what I've learned. I'm looking for respectful dialogue only, no harassment or witch hunts to me or the other person. This is not a legal statement, but based on my understanding and memory, we are recalling events from the past, which was around 2 years ago, so some of it might not be as clear as what you might assume. Now that those are addressed, let's start with general clarification. So let's start with number one. What are these rumors people are talking about? So a lot of people are claiming that I'm a certain file, that I text people who are vulnerable, I take advantage of people who are vulnerable, and these rumors are completely untrue. And the reason I say that is because I don't generally do that, and a lot of people tend to take that a lot seriously when a serious thing like this happens, and it often leads to a snowball effect where a lot of people just get really misunderstood about the situation and often twist it incorrectly. And that's not necessarily their fault. Honestly, I'll be completely clear here. I should have spoken out a lot sooner so that this wouldn't have happened. Did something happen in 2022 involving someone online? Yes. What ended up happening is that someone who was 16 reached out to me on my Instagram when I was 21 years of age. They reached out and they were like, "Hey, I like you. Would you like to be in a relationship with me?" And do poor judgment and do the fact that at the time I was a bit desperate, which is not an excuse. Let me just specify that. I kind of fell for it, and I'm like, okay, I'll see where this goes. So I messaged them. I'm like, yeah, sure. So for a week we were communicating a little bit back and forth, flirting, and then on a live stream on my old account, Mr. Easter Island, I specified it on a live stream, and someone on there messaged me like privately, and he's like, "Dude, like this is not appropriate, and you should block them and just leave it be." So that's what I did. Immediately after I got that message, I went to them. I messaged them. I'm like, "It's not okay, and I'm gonna block you." So I did block her, and yeah, I blocked her, and then that was it. My third point I have here is why haven't you addressed this sooner? So the truth, and the honest truth, is that when a rumor spreads, it grows like wildfire. And a lot of people assume the incorrect things, and they tend to change it and manipulate it into their own kind of story. And that was what I was worried about with this video, you know? But I realized now that I can just archive it and just post it now, and if people want to cut it up and turn it into their own positions or beliefs, that I would be able to have the actual evidence there that proves that yes, what I said is a lot different than what these people are trying to portray it as. The fourth question I have here are the accusations true? No, none of the accusations people are spreading online is true. And that's not necessarily their fault. I mean, sometimes things spiral because they just don't know, don't understand, and then they hear from someone else, and then they hear from someone else, and it keeps going and going and going. You know, like game banana phone when you grew up as kids, you know, that's what's happening here. People will spread incorrect information because they don't have the valid information that they should have. But in regards to the situation at hand, yes, it did happen, but everything they've been describing me as is not. Do you know the person's age at the time? Yes. However, due to my lack of proper judgment, I wasn't able to really comprehend why it was incorrect. And so it was entirely my fault. I was an adult in the situation, and I should have known better. But I'm very thankful that I have people in my life, especially friends, family, and even you guys who are willing to speak out about it and be like, "Ethan, that's not appropriate." Because when that happens, and when people point out my flaws or make me uncomfortable in some situations, it will never ever happen again. What were your intentions during the conversation? In all honesty, I just wanted a relationship. And I say that now because, especially when I was like 16, 17, 18, I was struggling a lot with dating. I wanted a girlfriend, and I saw all my friends have girlfriends, and it put a lot of pressure on me, and it made me a lot more desperate than what I probably should have. So when I hit 21, I was like, I'm 21 years of age, why don't I have a girlfriend? So when a situation like that, this, and only this, came up, I reacted poorly, and I made a mistake, and I'm like, I wanted to see where it would lead. So what steps have you taken since then? I took into consideration about my maturity compared to people even 18, 19, even 20 years old, who like to party, they like to drink, they like to do all these things, and that's not my vibe, and it will never be my vibe, and I'm not going to be attracted to people who have that vibe. And so as someone who likes to just chill at home and play video games and find a partner who likes to enjoy that, I realized that people 2 to 3 years older or younger than me tend to fit that category. So I want to formally say that yes, I will be pursuing people within those age ranges. Have I apologized to the person involved? Yes, I have. Right before I did block them, I did message them. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but this is not appropriate, and I hope you can find someone who actually fits your own vibe and who is around your age range. What have I learned from this? As a creator and as an adult, I'm responsible for setting my own personal boundaries with people, and I've had issues with this, especially with people I find on dating apps, and it tends to cause a lot of people to be kind of like, I'm not really attracted to this anymore, you know? And that's incredibly fair. I do need to set my own boundaries, and that's what I intend to do from this point forward. And the second thing is also to make sure that when I interact with people who are vulnerable, that I have to consider everything in regards to their safety, and also make sure that it's appropriate. How am I making sure this won't happen again? Again, I'm going to reiterate this. I'm going to be setting proper boundaries and making sure that whoever I interact with, it's good to set boundaries just in general. Have I changed how I interact online? Yes, and that could be a better example than what happened recently. Someone reached out to me who was 17. They're like, "Hey, I'd love to get to know you. I want to see if you want to be friends." Like, and they're kind of leaning into the aspect I want to be in a relationship with me. I'm like, no, like I can't do this. This is not appropriate. And there will always be people who are of the same age range you can actually genuinely talk to about your issues, your problems, and if you ever wanted to get in a relationship with them. By the way, I didn't block them because I wanted to see more of my content. I'm like, okay, that's fair, but we will not be interacting any longer. And they tried messaging me after, but I just ignored them. What would I say to someone who's upset by this? Honestly, fair. It's entirely fair. As someone like me, I will be completely honest. I've had situations like this. I don't want to go into it just because it's super private, but I've been in situations like this where someone did actually take advantage of me, and that was when I was around 13 years of age. So if you are upset by this, if you are really trusting of me, that's entirely fair. That's on you, and that's your belief, and I think that's really important that you have those beliefs. I just don't believe that you should be using those beliefs as a weapon against other people and spreading false or misinformation. So why are some comments being filtered or blocked? The honest truth is that, for one, I don't like the spreading of these rumors, especially in my own comment section, which are inherently false. I'm not a villain. I'm a human being, and I've made mistakes, and I will continue to make mistakes. And I'm very glad that people are trying to call this out, but when you say it in a different tone or a different way, it can make things a lot worse than what they actually are. Am I trying to silence people? No, I'm not. We need to continue having these conversations, especially to our kids, especially to our teenagers. The honest truth is that we gotta make sure that people understand about online safety, and I'm very glad that people are trying to call this out, especially against me, especially against people who actually may be trying to take advantage of other people, right? I am not trying to take advantage, of course, as many of you guys can tell, but this is just a very sticky situation, and I don't want to get back into it. I know when I'm uncomfortable in these situations that, one, that means that I am aware and I'm trying to change, and that I did change from 2 years ago, but also it's good for me because it actually holds me accountable as well. Am I still active on social media? Yes, I am. I'll 100% be active on here, and if it's not here, then I'll just work on my private account that I have with my friends and family, but I just want to specify that I am not what a lot of people are claiming I am, and I'm just a man who made a mistake, and I don't want to make this mistake ever again.
So really quickly, before I mention anything else, he said, quote, "I'm not trying to silence anyone," end quote. However, he turned off the comments on his videos, which, yeah, you're totally not trying to silence anyone. Anyways, yeah, I can't even say I'm surprised by this. His content already seemed like manipulation because no one who isn't a teenage girl would like fall for it, you know? It just seems like something that's kind of manufactured for a girl who's kind of young and naive to see like, oh my god, this guy is so caring, he's so considerate, or whatever, something like that. That's how it feels to me. Please feel free to go on his account. Don't leave any comments or interact. Obviously you can't leave any comments, but don't message him or anything. But yeah, feel free, go on his profile and just look through the videos. They are borderline manipulation, in my opinion. It just feels really often weird. In my opinion, of course, women should be respected. You shouldn't blame other people for your problems or whatever. All that stuff, yeah, but again, just take a look with the knowledge that you have now. Take a look back at his content, and I promise you'll see it in an entirely new light. That's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and comment and subscribe. If you think I'm stupid because of what I said, please let me know, because I'm kind of reconsidering some of the things I mentioned, but yeah, it's all. And yeah, if you're new here, I feel like this will bring a lot of new people in, just because this guy is kind of out of the sphere. Welcome. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.